Welcome back to the channel, and today we got some breaking news coming in. Shannon Sharpe has been hit with a $50 million lawsuit, and wow, this is huge because I know he just he's getting ready to ink a $100 million deal, a podcast deal, if I'm not mistaken, and I think he's supposed to be re-signing with ESPN as well. But like they say, what goes up must come down. Now, Shannon's been linked to a lot of weird things lately the past couple of years. And these big investors don't like things like that. So let's see what happens. This video we're going to react to is by Chick Smooth. We've done Chick Smooth on this channel before, and he's going to break down the whole lawsuit. So grab a little popcorn. Let's sit down and see what chances Shannon Sharpe has of getting out of this. Now, all this stuff is alleged. We don't know if any of this information is true, but the lawsuit was filed yesterday. So let's get it. This Chick Smooth.
YouTube Chicks. Get ready. You know what to do, Chicks.
Look at Chick Smooth. Hey, Chick Smooth. Appreciate all the coverage that you've been doing. I've been watching your shit for a while. I just subscribed to your shit too, bro.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy BREAD Fox Report from the Chicks Universe, and today we are talking about this new blockbuster Shannon Sharpe lawsuit that just broke the news and is pretty much breaking the internet. Shannon Sharpe is actually being hit with a 8-figure lawsuit. Yes, 8 figures.
That's a lot of zeros. A lot of zeros.
Being sued for $50 million. He's being sued by an alleged former lover who says she dealt with him for about a year from 2024 to early 2025. She says in that year, it was pretty much hell, and that she went through a bunch of emotional abuse by the hands of Shannon Sharpe. And then the salacious nature of the lawsuit, of course, is that she's alleging that she was R-word multiple times throughout the relationship up until early 2025. She also says she was also the victim of battery as well. I'm going to go into the article so that you can see exactly what the article says, as well as the comments from her lawyer. Yep. You won't even guess who it is. Well, you could probably guess because only one person would be behind something like this. None other than the infamous Tony Busbee. In the article, it states, Hall of Fame title.
I mean, we got to say that Busbee's lost a little credibility after this whole Diddy Jay-Z thing. Not saying that he was wrong, but he got played big time the way that ended. But let's check this out, man.
And wow. Shannon Sharpe made headlines last week in connection with his pursuit of a 9-figure podcast deal.
Yeah, I remember that.
He's facing an 8-figure lawsuit. Sharpe was sued on Sunday by...
It was crazy that whenever you start doing good and making moves, that's when the things... I'm not saying he didn't do any of this. Nobody knows for sure, because you know what? Just like this thing happened with Jay-Z when he first dropped, a lot of people came out on the other side. But when everything settled, he walked away. There was no apologies, none of that. We don't actually really know what happened. But with these things, man, the public quick to judge. Now you get judged by the public. You lose all these deals. And then you turn around and we find out things weren't right. But let Chick Smooth get into it. Make sure y'all go over there, like his video, subscribe to the channel.
A woman proceeding under the Jane Doe pseudonym. The 13-page civil complaint filed in Nevada State Court alleges that Sharpe committed assault, sexual assault, battery, and sexual battery, and that he engaged in the intentional infliction of emotional distress. The plaintiff claims that they embarked on a rocky, consensual relationship that lasted nearly 2 years. The complaint alleges that Sharpe recorded their sexual activities, something without her knowledge, and that he was sharing the videos with others without her permission or not.
I don't mean to keep stopping, but do y'all remember there was a tape that leaked a couple months back? You know, and people was wondering who was that in the video. It could be this person. Maybe she leaked it. And it was actually, you know what? It wasn't his live. Wasn't it like his IG live or something like that? Somebody let me know that in the comments, because I remember there was a thing that got leaked of, you know, the sounds or whatever. This could have been her, allegedly.
The complaint contends that it was another woman, not the plaintiff, with whom Shannon Sharpe was having intercourse with when he accidentally live streamed the encounter on Instagram. That was, per the complaint,
I was just saying that. Oh, snap.
moment at which the plaintiff began to pull away from Sharpe. The complaint claims that he relentlessly pursued her after she stopped answering her phone or sharing her whereabouts. The complaint contends that Sharpe confronted the plaintiff in October of 2024 after she had commenced efforts to separate from him. The complaint details the ensuing encounter, which culminated in allegedly forcible sex against her consent. Another alleged incident happened in January of 2025. The complaint alleges that Sharpe engaged in unprotected sex with the plaintiff despite her efforts to get him either to stop or to wear a condom. From the first page of the complaint, a woman can say yes to consensual sexual relations with the man 99 times. But when she says no, even once, that no means no. Defendant Shannon Sharpe, a man who is accustomed to getting what he wants, completely fails to understand the basic concept. After many months of manipulating and controlling plaintiff, a woman more than 30 years younger than he, and repeatedly threatening to brutally choke and violently slap her, Sharpe refused to accept the answer no and raped plaintiff, despite her sobbing and repeated screams of no. That last quote actually came from Tony Busbee himself. The complaint seeks a minimum of $50 million from Sharpe if/when there's a trial. The recovery, if any, will be determined by a jury based on the evidence and the law. The number can, in theory, be anything. The plaintiff is represented by Micah Nash and Tony Busbee. For those of you who already know, Tony Busbee is probably regarded as probably one of the sleaziest lawyers right now in the entire entertainment industry. Whenever he's behind something, you know it's going to be extremely salacious, but at the same time, he's built up this reputation for himself. The mere fact that he's on the case makes everybody kind of side-eye and question everything that.
He also did the Deshaun Watson case. That was like 20-something plaintiffs or whatever. But yeah, once Tony Busbee's involved, you got to wonder if it's, well, obviously it is a money grab, but how credible is the money grab? We're going to find out. We're going to find out soon, because this is damn incriminated, like just the wording of it. I mean, of course, it's worded in a way to make you feel for the plaintiff, the Jane Doe. And it's written like that to make you start being sympathetic to her. And let's finish this up, Chick.
That's being said.
Wow.
Because we have seen on record that Tony Busbee has been accused by his own defendants that he has coerced them into saying things that were not true or expounding on things that really are not as serious as they seem. In nature, it seems as though anything that he says is just extremely inflammatory and just a shock jock to get people's attention and to make the verdict or the potential payout of a verdict even more exponential than it actually should be. That said, a lot of people take anything that he says or anything connected to him with a grain of salt. For those of you who are not familiar, Tony Busbee was actually just recently spanked, by Jay-Z and the entire Roc Nation team when he brought about a false lawsuit against Jay-Z trying to connect him with Diddy.
Now, what agreement? What agreement? I will explain. Jay-Z's lawyer describes this very differently. He says, look, I got a call from Tony Busbee's lawyer who said he wanted to negotiate a dismissal. And I told him no uncertain terms that Jay-Z would not negotiate any sort of settlement about this. However, that lawyer said, okay, we'll voluntarily dismiss the suit. And, you know, then your sanctions motion against us for all this bad behavior should kind of go away as well. He thinks that's what the agreement was, that you would walk away from trying to get sanctions against us, whereas Jay-Z's lawyer says, look, our sanctions motion...
Hey, Derek, is that in his head? Is that in his head? Or, you know, my understanding is usually if you really had an agreement, You put it in writing and you sign it.
And that they right when they filed the dismissal. Here's
the paperwork, Your Honor. Here's
Exactly.
the paperwork.
It is certainly not a negotiated settlement like that. There is no contractual deal that we can look at this paperwork. There's a series of phone calls and maybe emails, it sounds like.
What fakakta situation is it where a lawyer says, you're not going to sue me, but we're not going to really put it in writing?
With that said, that does not automatically mean that Shannon Sharpe is safe here.
No.
If I'm being honest, after reading over the article and the facts in the case, it seems as though technically this lady may have a case if these things are true. Now, it is important to see context. From one side, the way that is explained, it seems extremely egregious. But if you are looking at it from the terms of these people were in a consensual relationship, a lot of these things could be miscommunications, whether intentional miscommunications or not. The reason why these things can stick is because a lot of people do have a misconception of what the law actually is. And I say that by saying a lot of people think like, hey, if I pick up a girl and we're dating, we've been dating for a year, 2 years, and then I make a move on her before we go out, like, oh, babe, let me get something before we go out, whatever the case may be. Or like, you try to do your little move, whatever, like, damn, you look good as hell. And she curve you. And she like, nah, wait till after dinner. Or she just curve you like, nah, not right now. If later on that night, you technically, by the law, you're not allowed to have sexual intercourse with that girl. If you have sexual intercourse with that girl, even though she said no early in the morning, it don't matter if it's still at night. It don't even matter if it's the next day, to be real with you. It don't even matter if it's a month from now. If you have sex with that girl, she can turn around and say that it was not consensual. Why? Because she can say that you coerced her into having sex, because she clearly stated no previously, and then you continue to ask, and then she felt pressured into saying yes. Now, that is the law. If that is something that took place, whether Shannon Sharpe likes it or not, he's cooked. If that never took place, then, of course, my boy is good to go. But if that did take place, my boy is cooked. Same thing goes with the unprotected sex. If the girl told you a month ago, hey, yeah, I don't ever want to have unprotected sex, just so you know, whatever the case may be, and then a couple of weeks later, things get hot and steamy, and you like, damn, yeah, I don't have no condom, and then you just kiss her, and then you start, before you know it, y'all doing what y'all do. Just because she didn't tell you no in that moment, that, hey, no, not right now. Just because she didn't say it in that moment, it doesn't matter. Because she told you a month before how she clearly feels about unprotected sex. So, in the eyes of the law, of course, you're cooked. So, if Shannon Sharpe did that, I'm sorry, but my boy is cooked. Now, there are some things that you have to mention as well, to add to the context as well. For one, it is Tony Busbee. 2, Shannon Sharpe is literally in the middle of a 9-figure deal negotiation for his podcast. You could tell that lawyers thought, hey, this is the time to strike. This is when he's most pressured. Maybe he'll be really, really pressured to just throwing this thing away. Or even better, we're going to attach this into his name that's already trending right now and blow this thing out of water, because what better time to announce this but now? It seems like no matter what, Shannon Sharpe is in a tough pickle. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. Of course, as always, I just hope any of this is not true, because we don't ever want to see somebody getting hurt. And I hope this is just one of those things that's actually false and it's just Tony Busbee trying to stir up some more.
Man, this is crazy. Now, listen, Shannon's is in a tough spot right now, because even if this isn't true, it's already damaging. His image is damaging. The fact that it seemed like he knows her and they have a personal relationship. So that's already been established. She's not fiction, she's real. So now there was the leaked video that's going to come up, because a lot of people are going to remember that leaked video is going to come back up, because when it all happened, we all thought like, that was weird, but we thought it had something to do with covering up his sexuality, type thing. But this is damning. The fact that he was getting ready to sign this deal is exactly why this lawsuit came out right now. But it came out in a way that you can say it was meant to hurt him. Because if you're smart, you'll wait till he inked the deal and then drop the lawsuit. Because once he got that money coming in, then you could. But if you gonna F it up before he get paid, you ain't getting no 50 mil. You know what I'm saying? You might get 5 now. So why not wait? You know, now I gotta say, man, Shannon's been on ever since he left Skip. It was the Skip. Hey, Skip. Ever since he left Skip Bayless, he's been on a rise. He's been on a rise. And, you know, every once in a while, somebody come and knock you off that horse, man. Now, it's going to be hard for him to beat these allegations because we don't even know if they're true or not. But he may lose his job. You know, he may lose some deals. And then months down the road, we may find out that none of this stuff was true. But the only downfall to this right now that it's coming from Tony Busbee. If it wasn't coming from Tony Busbee, I think a lot more people would have been on it. But after what we just saw with Tony Busbee with the whole Jay-Z situation, and I still think that stuff played out a little weird too on both sides. I think there was a lot of the witnesses was tampered with, if you ask me. But either way, Tony Busbee is lacking credibility, if you want to say. But I need y'all to let me know out in the comments how y'all feeling about this, because Shannon Sharpe, he's liked, he's loved, I could say. So how y'all feeling about Shannon? Do y'all believe Tony Busbee this time, or do you think he's, well, of course we know it's a money grab, but why not wait till after he signed the deal to drop the money? Because hey, if you damage him before he gets the money, your lawsuit is shit. Your lawsuit's shit. But let me know down in the comments how you feel. PeePodCove, and I'm gonna see y'all in the next one. Peace.